In a league defined as much by relationships as it is by talent, the Utah Jazz appear to be making a subtle but significant long-term move. According to NBA insider Michael Scotto, former All-Star power forward Carlos Boozer is expected to join the Jazz as a scout, a homecoming of sorts for a player who once helped define an era in Utah basketball alongside Deron Williams and Mehmet Okur. But this isn't just a nostalgic nod to the past. It's a shrewd organizational maneuver with an eye firmly fixed on the future, particularly on the top of the 2026 NBA draft. That's where Cam Boozer, Carlos' son, is expected to reside. Carlos Boozer isn't just a former Jazz star. He's a name etched into Utah basketball lore. During his tenure in Salt Lake City, 2010, Boozer was a walking double-double machine who brought toughness, experience, and postseason relevance to a franchise that had struggled to redefine itself post-Stockton and Malone. Bringing him back as a scout is symbolic, yes, but it's also practical. Boozer played the position that remains pivotal in the Jazz's long-term rebuild: power forward center. Utah's frontcourt already includes promising pieces like Walker Kessler and John Collins. But as the franchise charts its future, it's clear they're still on the hunt for a foundational star. Someone who can lead this team back to playoff prominence and, eventually, title contention. Boozer's insight as a scout could help the Jazz identify and evaluate those types of players in upcoming drafts and international markets. But there's one name that could rise above the rest. His own son, Cam Boozer, isn't just any prospect. He's the prospect. A dominant high school talent with elite scoring instincts, rebounding prowess, and a professional mindset. Cam has been on NBA radars since middle school. By early projections, he's slated to be a top 3, if not the number 1, pick in the 26 NBA draft. And if the Jazz continue down their current trajectory, they'll likely find themselves near the top of the lottery that year. That's where things get interesting. In bringing Carlos Boozer into the organization now, the Jazz may be laying the groundwork for one of the most personal and potentially franchise-defining connections in recent NBA memory. The elder Boozer's presence in the front office doesn't guarantee Cam ends up in Salt Lake City, but it does create a meaningful pathway. There's mutual familiarity, there's trust, there's legacy. It also signals to Cam and the broader basketball community that the Jazz are serious about building a stable, supportive, and family-first culture, a trait increasingly valued by young players and their parents in today's NBA landscape. In an age where player empowerment is peaking and front office maneuvering is a full-contact sport, those factors matter. Just ask the Oklahoma City Thunder, who built long-term goodwill with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander by empowering him early and giving him a voice in personnel discussion. The Jazz could be attempting a similar cultural cultivation here, not just for Cam Boozer, but for the next wave of elite prospects. Let's face it, the Jazz aren't contending anytime soon. After moving on from Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert, they've pivoted into a deep rebuild, leaning on draft capital and young talent to re-establish a core. They have the assets: multiple future first-round picks, movable contracts, and a GM in Danny Ainge who's never afraid to think 3 steps ahead. Their record in 2025 may not be pretty, but it's purposeful. If Utah ends up with a top 3 pick in 2026, the stars may align perfectly to bring Cam Boozer into the fold. That's not tampering, it's strategy. And if Cam sees Utah as an environment where his father has influence and trust, where development is prioritized, and where the roster is young and moldable, it may be the kind of scenario both parties want. Over the years, Utah has developed a reputation for doing things their own way, sometimes to their benefit, sometimes to their detriment. But one thing is clear. They've invested heavily in player development, from grooming Gordon Hayward into an all-star to helping Donovan Mitchell become a playoff assassin. The Jazz know how to grow talent. In Cam Boozer's case, development will be key. While he's an extraordinary athlete, jumping from high school to college and eventually to the pros brings challenges. Having a front office built on continuity and personal investment could be the secret sauce that makes Utah appealing, not just for Cam, but for future blue-chip prospects too. It's tempting to view Boozer's return purely through the lens of his son, but that would be short-sighted. Boozer brings credibility, experience, and modern perspective. He's been a part of Olympic teams, playoff battles, and locker rooms with volatile dynamics. That insight could be invaluable to a team that's trying to re-establish identity and accountability. More than just scouting for bigs, Boozer could help the front office with culture checks, vetting draft personalities, and mentoring young players navigating the transition into the league. His presence may also help solidify internal expectations and bridge communication between players and execs, a relationship that is often fraught with tension during rebuilds. Let's play devil's advocate for a moment. What if Cam Boozer goes no? One of the Jazz pick fifth. What if a different team swoops in with a better lottery position or a trade package that can't be topped? Even in that scenario, the Boozer hire isn't wasted. First, Utah still gains an experienced basketball mind with strong opinions about front-court development and positional play. Second, it sends a message to other second-generation stars. Think Bronny James, Kean Anthony, or DJ Wagner. Utah is a place where legacies can be respected and nurtured. That's powerful. If we've learned anything about the modern NBA, it's that no move is too small when you're playing the long game. The Jazz know they're not ready to contend, but they also know that moments like this, with a generational talent potentially on the horizon, don't come often. Bringing Carlos Boozer into the organization may read like a soft gesture, but for those paying close attention, it's a high IQ, emotionally intelligent play that could eventually redefine the next era of Jazz basketball. Whether it ends in Cam Boozer donning a Utah jersey or simply reinvigorates the franchise's front office with championship DNA, the message is clear. The Jazz are thinking bigger than just next season. They're thinking legacy. And if that legacy includes a Boozer and one in the 2026 draft, well, all the better.
Giờ mình sẽ tiếp tục mình làm cái bước tiếp theo nha. Rồi, bây giờ thì mình đã được cái dây treo này rồi mọi người. Mình xách đi này, xách cái lồng đèn đi. Bây giờ mình sẽ sang cái phần trang trí nhé. Cái keo của mình bây giờ ở đáy nó cũng khô rồi ấy. Thì bây giờ mình cắt ra luôn này. Rồi cái đây mọi người nhìn nhá, những cái mà lúc này mình thắt này thì là nhìn nó hơi bị kiểu nó xấu xấu ấy, thì mình sẽ dùng những cái miếng này mình dán nhá, mình dán vào, mình che đi. Đây mình dán xuống như này nhá. Đó, giờ mình sẽ cho keo vào. Đó, mình dán vào như này. thì cái dây của mình nó đẹp hơn đúng không mọi người. Và mình tiếp tục mình dán những cái chỗ còn lại nhé. Đó, mình dán nốt cái miếng này nữa là xong. Thì cái lồng đèn của mình nó đã xinh hơn rồi đấy mọi người. Đó, mọi người nhìn thấy không? Mình gá một chút vào cái lồng đèn của mình rất là xinh như này. Đấy. Không lộ cái chỗ mà mình thắt nút đấy. Rồi bây giờ mình sẽ dùng cái xúc nhũ này để mình trang trí nhé. Mình sẽ dùng cái dập lỗ luôn đi. Mình dùng dập lỗ để mình tạo thành những cái hình kiểu họa tiết. Đây. Họa tiết chấm bi nha mọi người. Mình sẽ bỏ những cái màu tím này đi này. Cái này ban nãy mình dập cái lỗ để mình sâu dây ấy. Mình bỏ đi. Đấy, mình dùng những cái màu đỏ này và những cái màu bạc như này. Mình sẽ gắn luân phiên nhau, xen kẽ nhau. Mình gắn lên mình trang trí cho cái lồng đèn của mình nhé. Đó, mình đổ ra để sử dụng. Mọi người gắn những cái chấm này, gắn xen kẽ đỏ trắng. Đây là mọi người gắn như này nhé. Không cần phải theo quy luật gì đâu, mọi người cứ gắn vào những vị trí bất kỳ. Đó, mình tạo họa tiết chấm bi cho nó rất là xinh. Rồi, sau khi mà dính trang trí xong mình sẽ được cái lồng đèn như này mọi người nhé. Chấm bi đỏ bạc rất là đẹp đúng không? Bây giờ mình sẽ gắn ở hai cái mặt còn lại. Mình sẽ dập thêm nha. Trước khi dập thì mọi người phải cắt những cái đường này đi thì mọi người mới dập được.